Socrates Hodge, and the clock on the wall is just saying it's just about 9 minutes past 11. It is time to give credit to our sponsors without whom this program would not be possible. So let's do that, and then we return and we have a little chat at the other end.
Are you ready for the summer? Need a plan like no other. Stay connected when you're on the go.
Sign up for internet and get 1 month free, plus a chance to pay $0 for the rest of the year. Plus, get a chance to win free data, gas vouchers, $500 cash weekly, grocery vouchers, Fed tickets, and more.
Switch over to Flow.
If you need protection, you need one who you can trust. To secure your investment, you need one who'll do you just. TDC Insurance, you're the one that you can trust. TDC Insurance, you're always safe with us.
TDC Insurance is your go-to insurance company for all your insurance needs. We take pride in offering you the best solutions and ensuring our customers are fully satisfied. TDC Insurance, we take good care of you, guaranteeing you peace of mind.
You're always safe with us.
Feel the magic happening.
Campari.
Taste.
Something incredible happens when Campari is mixed just right. Like Campari and orange juice poured over ice. Taste it. Try it tonight. Bitter, sweeter, better. Campari. Must be 18 years and older. Drink responsibly.
Once again, greetings to our listeners, and we wish to apologize for the late start of today's program. I'm going to start off by sending out some salutations to friends of the Federation, nationals at home and throughout the diaspora. I'm going to start with Mr. Alfonso Bridges Waters. Well, Bridgewater, wherever you are, I want to wish you and yours the most wonderful day. Mr. Nigel Williams up there in Oklahoma. Give my regards to your lovely wife, Dr. Leda, Dr. Sweeney, Amber over there in Anguilla, Petra over in Guyana, enjoying some cricket. Catherine in Toronto, Culture, Beulah, Bag of Sugar, Rosemary Donald, and Mr. Ambassador Chris Collins. He's got to be our ambassador. He's out there doing great things for us. I want to say special greetings to the Wharton family. That's Blaze and the Wharton family vacationing over there in Frigate Bay. We had the occasion to meet the entire clan yesterday. Had a wonderful tour. So, and Jamster, Blaze is going to be with us before she leaves next week. She want to come back and do a goodbye show, so to speak. And with that, we're going to have a direct link with station in the UK. Now, let's deal with some admonitions. Just about everybody knows who's familiar with the program that Voices offers a platform for just about anyone to call in and air the views. We've asked that our callers keep it respectful. Last week, I had to voice a bit of an admonition to the public in general. Ever so often, we get callers who are very emotional, very impassioned, and they go off and they make comments and remarks about a person that's not appropriate, and we know this. So I want to say at this point in time that this would no longer be tolerated. Folks, they can control themselves. They get too impassioned, should take a step back, count to 45 or whatever, before you come on the airways and disrespect others, especially our elected officials. I know the person to whom I'm addressing, but this is generally the tone of the program. You can call air your views, don't disrespect others, don't disparage others, and I would like that to be the tone going forward. Also, over the years I've been hosting the program, I've had feedback from the public at large about me allowing persons to stay too long on the airways while others are trying to get in. That happens sometimes. There are times when there are no one else at the other end. I would indicate or get indication from the engineers if there is anyone else on the other end. If there's not, I allow people to speak. The complaints coming in, I allow certain people to speak too long and others are trying to get in. Sometimes the lines get jammed up and people for days are frustrated by this. So I'm going to ask our callers, especially those who call repeatedly, to be mindful of this fact. If you cannot nail your point within 2 to 3 minutes, you're free to call back and we continue the debate. But it's unfair to others who are trying to get in and cannot get in. And as it were, you're more or less hogging the mic. I know you're impassioned with the platforms that you represent, but we have to be respectful to others, especially when there's a topic of the day. Many persons, irregardless of the topic of the day, go off on their own tangent. And I say, okay, it's voices. You're allowed to air your views, but sometimes we would like you to contribute to the discussion at the moment. Okay? So we start with that. I would have had a guest this morning in the studio, except for the fact that she called and explained that there's an emergency. She's a senior caregiver, and we discussed on Friday that she would be here to discuss matters pertaining to the elderly, the treatment. And as a matter of fact, it was mentioned, a phrase was used called grooming, where they said that persons who take care of the elderly, they actually groom them with the purpose of taking away their life's earnings or savings. And so that's the topic for further discussion. I expect a young man in the studio later on. He is one who complained he's been trying to get in on the program for a very long time and cannot get in. And he takes umbrage with persons who call time and again, hugging the mic, so to speak. So we want to keep it respectful. We want to keep the discourse going. And when there's a topic presented, we would ask you, can you make a contribution to that topic? If you have other issues to speak about, we understand that. But it should not be that we have callers who just totally regard what's being discussed, which would be for the benefit of the entire federation and for our listeners and viewers abroad. So we ask that you work with us. It's called Voices, yes, and everyone needs to be heard, but that's the whole thing. Everyone needs to be heard, not just one person with one topic all the time. So please work with us, okay? We do appreciate your contribution because without you, we don't have a program, but at the same time, please work with us. As I mentioned a short while ago, my guest for today would have made a big difference in what we were presenting. But I don't have any person at the moment, so it's going to be open mic. It's Friday. To most, it's Fantastic Friday. For those who are celebrating birthday, anniversaries, whatever the occasion, we celebrate with you. For those who are in bereavement, we sympathize, we empathize with you. It's the circle of life. There are people I know who are in deep bereavement, and I say to them, this may not help, but my personal philosophy is that he or she who fears death do not understand life. He or she who fears death do not understand life. It means that while you're alive, you have to live. Not only work and slave around the clock on the treadmill, live, take time out and embrace the wonders of this universe, spend time with the family, let them know you love them, live, celebrate, enjoy yourself. It shouldn't just be from the cradle to the grave on a treadmill going 24/7. Take time out, enjoy the time that we have here, not knowing how much time we will have. Take time out and live. And for those who are in bereavement, I would admonish you to take the memories, these precious memories of your departed, and use that as a form of celebration. You would have had them share life, etc. I Okay, I won't go into that part of it because it's a personal issue. But let's celebrate. Let's enjoy. Speaking about celebrations, we are still, I will say, in post mindset. We are celebrating our 40th independence anniversary, and there are various opinions as to how we should go. The bottom line is we were blessed with that opportunity to live and see, well, those who were there from the onset, and see the development of the country, what we've achieved, how we progress in spite of the challenges along the way. There will be challenges all the time. It doesn't matter who you are or where you are in any part of the world. There will be challenges when it comes to development of our people. I always say that we ought to learn from the mistakes others have made and move on. So that being said, the lines are open. Another one engage me in any topic today, as long as it adds to the national discourse. There's a gentleman, Mr. Wharton. I don't know if he's senior. He was on tour with me yesterday. Had quite a bit to say, so I encourage him and his family, who let me know that when they're in the UK, they follow the program. And that's why you see people in different time zones. And there's a call on the line as we speak. Good morning, caller. Be the first on today's program. Welcome.
Good morning, the King.
Good morning, sir. Welcome to the program.
How are you, man?
I'm splendid.
Good. The King, let me say good morning to those listening to your program in the Federation and those abroad via internet.
Here, here.
Now, I was going over some of the speakers, some of the presidents who attend the summit in New York, and I was very impressed with the president of Guinea when he addressed the assembly. Of course, he spoke in French through an interpreter, and I found, as humble as his speech was, it was very powerful. And I find that most of our African leaders are now speaking with a certain extent of authority, yet being humble. Now, for me, the King, like I always act as we observe, when our leaders speak at the United Nations, hardly anyone who's supposed to be listening are listening. By that I mean the rooms is almost empty. But I think they're listening now, the King. Now, what does that say to us? Our people are starting to love themselves. We are loving ourselves, and the enemy, our common enemy, they are afraid. They are so afraid, the King. Mind you, when we love ourselves, they become irrelevant, the King. Let me repeat this. When we love ourselves, they become irrelevant. So all that they did all what they did to keep us just where they have us. But we are breaking away from that, the King. We are awakened. We are awoken now. And this global awakening, if you are not tapping into it, and I say you, I mean we, all of us who are not tapping into this awakening, we are going to get left out. We are going to be left out, the King, because I said before, and I'm going to say it again, Africa is the future and the present for all Africans globally. Get on board. We need to get on board. And we need to let our voices heard, the King. We cannot stay and be complicit in what is happening on an international stage, because you and I know as empires fall, so too shall empire rise. Now, on the spiritual side of this, the King, the scripture says, as it was in the beginning, so shall it be in the end. Well, I don't like to say in the end. I say, as it were in the beginning, so shall it be again. The first shall be last, and the last shall be first. That is us, the King. That is us. I want the Christian community, when they read these scriptures, see themselves in it. Because again, I say, the story and the culture of the book, it is us. It is about us. But here we are, the King. We are rewriting our truth from their lies. The truth is hidden in plain sight, the King. Okay. And we need to see the truth for what it is, because only knowledge of self will set us free. Thank you for hearing me, the King. I'll continue to listen if I get...
try
And
again.
thank you for honoring the request to keep it short. You were on point, and I do appreciate that. And we go back to the phone lines. Is there a call on board? Not at the moment. Okay, we continue the discourse. There are lots of folks who are paying attention to what's happening on the continent, and others who don't. But we do have a call at the moment, so we're going to take this call. Call, good morning, you're live on Voices.
Greetings, my brother. Keep your chain of thought. You remember what you wanted to say. What do you have on the table as topic? We just tune in and we hear the brother talk about African. But what else? We want to comment on that. But what else do you have on the table?
Elder X, you've got the
pardon?
mic. Elder X, you've got the microphone. Go ahead. We want to keep it short, within 3 to 4 minutes, but make your presentation. It's open the mic today.
No, hold on, man. Me not about time as you want me come out the phone now, me come off. Me ask you, what do you have as topic on the table?
And I just told it's open mic.
Oh, open mic. I didn't hear that, man. I didn't hear that. Okay. Commenting, compound on the bread, Jane Joseph. Me gon' steady. You see right now, he make me sound about making our voices heard. Voices, you just pass the thing, you know. Give thanks to that, and it's happening now.
Definitely.
Yeah, in spite of the other voices that is saying differently, we have lots of voices that is saying what ought to be said concerning the continent, our rightful home, and its people. But it right now, the struggle reach right now is more action than talking.
I agree.
To be true.
I agree.
I guess. Beg pardon?
I agree with you.
Yes. Give thanks. Because it's the truth. It's the naked truth. And the action, it needs to be individually and collectively. Yeah? He make the song about knowing self. That's where it starts. Individual salvation is good, but national redemption is better. Yeah? So, the struggle up to that. Give thanks to the time, my brother. Blessed love.
Thank you once again for your contribution. And of course, I just refer to you as Elder X. I've seen that in that capacity, always with something valuable to contribute. I was going to ask you about a pet peeve of yours, but that's next time. Next time we call, we touch base on that, okay? And we continue the debate. You're listening to Voices, WINNFM 98.9. My name is Socrates, host of this program, and we go back to the phone lines. Good morning, caller. You're live on Voices.
Good morning, the King.
Good morning, Mr. Brown in town. Talk to me.
Yes, and good morning to the listeners home and abroad.
Mm-hmm.
The King,
so
I want to talk about these meetings that our leaders go to every year, CARICOM, OECS, then they go to OAS meetings, they go to meet with high-ranking Americans and Canadians and English officials. And the King,
yes, sir.
They go there every year and they talk about all kind of topics which you see no actions after. It's just the same constant repeat over, because look at it. They're gone up there to discuss Haiti situation with the gangs. Look how long that is happening in Haiti. And that is why I tell you every year, the King, and I tell every talk show host, I don't believe in these OAS, OECS, CARICOM, all kind of stupid organization they got, because it's just a waste of our money, the taxpayers' money.
Sure,
you don't see nothing out of them. They go there and they talk every year, they waste our money, go there, and then you hear them, oh, it's a sovereign country, so we can't. So what the hell you're going there for? If you can't put forth a combined force and go in there and help you let's say it's with brothers and with sisters, you can't go there. Imagine the president and leaders of those countries calling for help from us, who say we're the brothers and sisters. Mm-hmm. And all we're doing is meeting and talking at every organization that we go. How long the OAS talking? How long CARICOM meeting and talking about Haiti situation? How long OECS meeting and talking? You hear them organize any groups to go in there to help protect our brothers and sisters and help to eradicate the country from the dilemma and to move the country upwards and onwards.
Well, here's what. When the Americans went in and took our seat out of Haiti, CARICOM did nothing.
Exactly.
So are you saying that we lack the resolve
nothing.
to come up with a comprehensive program to assist? Are we just reactionaries? So I understand what you're saying. But the question is, are they... Do they present any updates?
The taxpayers' money.
There has to be an attempt to address the issues in the region, but I'm saying, are you saying that when they return, you don't get any updates?
No, I am saying when they come back, no action does happen. It's just talk, while the people them down there dying, right? The people them down there cannot live, those who survive can't live decently, can't live properly. And all the meeting every year, every meeting they go, it just talk, oh, Haiti, and what we going to do about Haiti, and we must help Haiti, and no help go to them. The gangs them got the place down there take over. We got a CARICOM force. We just sending the CARICOM force into every other country.
But not in Haiti.
Not in Haiti.
We did at one point, At one point, there was a contingent that went over there when there was some issues. So we did contribute to that issue at the time.
Yeah, but we more advanced now. That was so many years ago. So many years ago. I remember that. Mm-hmm. Right? So while you're meeting and wasting the taxpayers' money for and talking, and then see what's happening now. The other topic, King, is all these Haitians and all these foreigners jumping on and board people here and other countries doing human trafficking. And then when the boat run aground, they come say about they were going Dominica, they were going Catola, they were going to this country. What are you doing all the way up here?
Got your point.
What stupidness they come telling people? And then our prime minister and our government are talking about, we must leave them, and we must give them housing, and we must give them shelter, and we must put them up. The king...
Make your point and I have a question to ask you.
Do what you have to do. Mm-hmm. Whatever little thing, fix the boat, put on some food and thing on it, and pack them back. Let it go where they're going.
Okay.
Because here is the thing. We got over 3,000 to 5,000 children just come out of school this month, September. No work. No housing. Right? Nothing for them to do, neither in the private sector nor in the civil service. Well, how you going to take all these people who coming in here all the time and setting them up? Look, the last set we coming in here. What the government did, said they must stay, set them up with house and they don't walk in, but you got children here, come back from university and college, the king, with all kind of alphabet, the highest alphabet letters you could get in education. And King all 2-3 years they can't find a job. The bank calling them every month, they can't pay back the bank.
Okay, Carl.
You got thousands of children come out of the high school them who can't afford even to go Bryan College. No jobs there in the private sector nor government for them. But every boat come in here, you take them up and you put them up and you find job and housing
okay, Mr.
and
Brown.
schooling for them.
Okay, Mr. Brown. In the interest of being consistent in keeping the calls at a certain length, I'm going to address that.
What I'm saying, I'm going now. We don't have our priorities in order. We dancing abroad before we dance a yard. I'm gone.
Mr. Brown, thanks for your contribution. Okay. Let's take this caller. Good morning, caller. You're live on Voices. Caller, are you there?
Yes, man. Good morning, man. How are you?
Having a wonderful day. Yourself?
Yeah, pretty good, man.
Okay, let's hear what you got to say.
I like those points that the guy called was just putting forward.
Fair enough.
I want to actually, yeah, man, I'm actually supporting him with all the way he said just now.
I have a response, but it's you're on the mic, so let's hear what you have to say.
Yeah, well, you know, what I got to say is that I hear another Haitian boat crashed in Kitts, 2 nights ago?
So I heard, I don't know if it's a Haitian boat, but I know what you're referring to.
Well, Haitians on board, I'm going to say, including a baby 2 years old.
Okay.
the immigration policy in St. Kitts and Nevis, them, whoever's controlling that portfolio, I know that might be the Prime Minister himself. He's treated that their way when this incident happened now. If that's true. I guess I need some clarification.
The functionaries throughout the governments, that the leaders of the country don't have to be here to address those issues.
Okay, all right. Okay, so then therefore, the Coast Guard them, I hope their man is on top of such things like that. I hope they're on it. Just like how they had a plane crashed down off of Nevis.
Yes.
I only hear them talk about that plane. I didn't hear them say anything about that boat. And those functionaries who went out there to make sure those two persons were rescued, they themselves, one of them was on WINNMedia this morning.
You mean for the plane? On the plane?
It was a fighter guy, I think, was on this morning. A rescue guy was on this morning on WINNMedia.
Okay.
He didn't mention anything about the Haitian boat, that boat with those Haitians. And they said that they saw 10 persons in Canary area from that incident.
Okay.
So those functionaries, yes, they're doing the job when the Prime Minister is not around.
So are you saying they should round them up?
I agree with you.
Are you saying they should round up the Haitians and send them back?
No, this is what my take is. My take is we don't want to help these Haitians at all. One time before, I mentioned why don't St. Kitts and Nevis, based on their size, taking a certain amount of them, whether they meter them in over time or what. But as a contribution to helping, I'm taking in 3,000, 1,000 going to Nevis, 2,000 going to St. Kitts.
Okay.
Just so we can build the economy and we can get them to help out probably in the agriculture sector. You know what I'm saying?
Makes sense.
And then that will just be our contribution as a small island state. But after I do that, if I was in control or something like that, after I do that, I will put a cap on it, and then my immigration policies is going to be changed.
I hear you.
Because this is an OECS problem, and the big islands, you see, if you really look at what's going on right now, it's mostly affecting St. Kitts and Nevis right now. The movement of trafficking of people and the influx of these Haitians and Africans that's coming in to the Federation. So they're targeting St. Kitts and Nevis. When I had mentioned before to bring in some legally and then cap it, somebody else came in after me and then says that, they're going to put the strain on the infrastructure. But guess what's going to happen now if they're coming in legally? Because they had a case and an outside body told the Prime Minister them to keep them there. Because the Prime Minister said he spoke to the Haitian president when he went to the UN or one of them foreign trips he went on. And the president told him that it's bad in Haiti, really bad. And so he probably got compassionate, and he went and visited those Cameroonians and St. Kitts in that where they was holding them, where they was posting them in the community center or whatever there in St. Kitts.
Yes.
But to me, the policy got to be changed because right now we have a lot of foreign nationals from other countries coming into the Federation already. And like Carl mentioned, there's kids coming out of school. And what I've observed myself personally, there are no creation of new jobs in St. Kitts and Nevis. They technically seems to me that they're just riding on the CVI program money.
Okay.
And we have to make some tracks, man. We got to do some things, man. We have to concentrate on that immigration policy too. That something got to be done with that because if you look at the southern border in the United States, the king right now is another increase and influx of immigrants coming across that border right now as I'm talking to you. Upwards of like 10,000 people is over there right now coming across.
I hear you. But sometimes...
If St. Kitts and Nevis don't take an action, this is what's going to happen to St. Kitts and Nevis because our borders is wide open.
Okay.
And they're already coming.
Okay. Well, thank
That's
you
my
for.
contribution to that. I have some other stuff, but I'll come back in later.
I am very happy with your presentation. At this point in time, we're going to pause for a few kind words from sponsors, and we will be right back. Hopefully, I can respond to what you and Carl Baum was presented. Let's see. Okay, downtown and back.
Yes.
Jean.
But this place hot, boy. I can't take it.
Well, it's a good thing I called. The TDC Home and Building Depots are having their Cool 'em Down sale, and you're sure to get 25% discount on fans, AC units, coolers, fridges, and more to beat this heat.
Girl, Betty, you're making joke.
No, girl. Stop sweating and let's go to the store now.
Come pick me up, because may want to miss the sale at TDC Home and Building Depot.
Cool. Terms and conditions apply. See store for details.
Internet and get 1 month free, plus a chance to pay $0 for the rest of the year. Plus, get a chance to win free data, gas vouchers, $500 cash weekly, grocery vouchers, Fed tickets, and more.
Switch over to Flow.
To our viewers and listeners, welcome back to Voices. My name is Socrates, hosting to this program, and we go straight to the phone lines. Good day, caller. You're live on Voices.
Quickly, the King. As I just listened to the caller, right, who spoke about, all with the
Haitian situation
on the board.
Okay.
Now, let us look at what is happening in Haiti, right? Now, for me, I am not putting nothing, the King. I am not putting anything past our common enemy, because they are there. They are there, and for me, I know that they create chaos. Now, what we have, the King, in my opinion, it appears that and I'm saying in my opinion, our leaders are corrupt, because if you have to look at 3 geographic space on this planet, the continent of Africa, Haiti, and Guyana, all inhabited by Africans and African descent. And all these places have minerals in the soil. Minerals, the King. America is in Haiti. They are all over the continent. Europe is all over the continent. Now, when are we going to wake up? When are we going to wake up and see these creatures strategize against us? They create scenario in order for them to come in and claim that they're coming to fight jihadists, which they themselves have put in place. Boko Haram, what's the other terrorist groups? I mean, they are so capable of these things, and yet we are not talking out against it. We have to let them know that we know the game. And it's high time that we put an end to this misery, because, look at what is going on between ECOWAS, the president of Nigeria, being pressured by Joe Biden and Emmanuel Macron to go up against Niger. And now they're saying that they're going to release his file, like they're blackmailing him. You see the corruption with our leaders? These are the things that they're
I've
putting.
been following it.
Sacrificing the people's blood by wanting now, being pressured because however he came by his credentials at which university he attended. They're threatening him now that if you don't go and invade Niger, we're going to release your files. And this is why our leaders are taking things under the table, the king. I mean, how can we eradicate this from amongst us? This is a disease in us that we need to get rid of. Because the king, when most of us who ascribe to God and judgment, they're going to judge. The universe, cosmology, and ecology is recording every act because the earth has our DNA and the earth knows all. You see right now what is happening, the king? The earth is fighting back against those who have suffocated it, and we know who these people are. With their pollution, with carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, they suffocate the earth with their concrete jungles, the king. The earth is
and
fighting back.
Okay.
4 elements, 4 intelligent elements, the king. Earth, wind, water, and fire. Nothing can come up against these elements. These are intelligent elements. Yes, they are warm and loving because without these elements, there is no life.
Okay.
Thank you, the king.
Thank you once again for being succinct. And we would have just lost a caller. Call if you have a chance, please try to get back in on the discussion. The Haitian situation, Carl Brown made 2 points there. Is there a call there? He made a point of our leaders going out, well, more or less representing CARICOM and trying to address the Haitian situation, and they do nothing about it. But it's on the flip side, those who would have to flee Haiti and come here more or less on the refugee status, we should not accept them. You can have it both ways. The second to the last caller spoke about trying to get the government to at least assist those who can come here illegally and put a cap on it, etc. But it's a very difficult problem to address. And I would pose a question to Carl Brown until the second to the last caller. What would make you leave your country and risk your life on small boats, small vessels, be targeted by human smugglers? What would make you take the risk to leave your country to seek refuge elsewhere? What if the tables were turned? Would you not like to be given succor or some kind of assistance? It's a desperate situation. These persons are not leaving just because they want to leave. Our people are dying, drowning in the Mediterranean. Some from Senegal, where the same China who's trying to assist Africa have their trawlers, their big mega fishing trawlers, raking and raping all the resources, all the marine resources from those areas. So the fishermen have to go further and further afield to try to make a living. It's not happening. And so they seek refuge elsewhere. One of the examples where people who are desperate to survive feel that they can find greener grass on other pastures. That's part of the problem. And as the president of Italy says, if France was to stop exploiting the people of Africa, those 9 former colonies, the people would not be leaving Africa in droves, drowning in the Mediterranean, trying to get to Europe, where they're treated like dogs. The same will apply to Haiti. And you look at the colonizers of Haiti and Niger and Burkina Faso, they're all the same. Their policies were the same. We know that Haiti has much in terms of resources. They've got oil, they've got this, but the powers that be are orchestrating that sense of what I'm saying now, destabilizing the regions. So as the people move out, they encroach. It's part of a global strategy. And so when the person on the ground have to leave in desperation, paying the human smugglers traffickers risking their lives in the high seas, we can't just cold and callously say, send them back. Send them back. Some years ago, there were some Haitians who sought refuge here, and they were actually sent back. And the Prime Minister then said he was compassionate. He provided them with a plane for the lady who was pregnant. He provided a doctor, translator. They were humane, but they sent them back. Our country is small and cannot accommodate an overflow of immigrants. But at the same time, the CARICOM body, they ought to get to some point where they can say we can assist. We highlight the negative, the gangs in Haiti. The gangs in Haiti, wow, man, there's no easy answer, but we have to remember and we'll be respectful and be grateful for that 1791 Haitian Revolution that actually was instrumental in the emancipation movement. So we give credit to William Wilberforce. Oh, he helped to free the slave. And John Newton, the body mentions Toussaint Louverture. And the pressure they put that caused France and the rest of Europe and America to bow to demands for our freedom. We must remember that. And ever since then, Europe and America did not want Haiti to be known for what they did. So they shut down Haiti, ostracized them, and told the world, they could only defeat the armies of Europe because they were working voodoo, and branded Haitians as devil worshippers. And most of the religion, the Roman Catholic, copies. But of course, once you're branded, they went to Jamaica. They were shunned because the Europeans, they colonized the Haitians, work voodoo, they're going to come to your country and destabilize it. And today in St. Kitts and Nevis and most of the Caribbean around the world, they have that stigma that they've been fighting to live down. There are people who are oppressed. There are people whose minerals who are being raped. And you ask why? Look at the powers that be and the orchestration they put in keeping Haiti destabilized. At one point, the Americans kept Haiti that way as a possible staging ground for invading Cuba. Look what they did to Cuba. Had it not been for Russia, and to some extent China coming to the aid of Cuba, even today, the embargo still exists on Cuba, simply because they kicked out the Americans. We have the situation where Bazoum, what he was called, is recognized as a puppet for the French government. That is why they want him back in, because his policies, which they crafted and gave him to implement, is keeping France gaining over $5 billion a year, raping the country. And so you find they installed public government. They did the same thing with Aristide, took him out of his country. A duly elected official installed a public government and destabilized the country once again, because what they did, Aristide shut down the army. They didn't need an army. But the arms dealers need to have people with armies in order to sell weaponry. He shut down the army for 5 years. He bought school buses. He built schools and was educating his people to a point where they could demand more than $1 US per day. The average Haitians work for $1 US per day. The Americans and the investors did not like that. So they took him out of his country, imposed a public government who reinstated the army. The army generals insisted on 5 years back pay, retroactive, and they took the school buses and gave it to the army. Took him out of his country. We go to the phone lines. Caller, good day. You're live on Voices.
Greetings, forwardly.
Respect to you.
And thanks for confirming who are doing the targeting. It is not the people. It is those who are on the boats and doing what they're doing, you know?
Of course.
The people just trying to survive. Mm-hmm. Read that suggestion with collective assistance with ones-on-ones taking in families. That's a good suggestion. And I know that there is people I leave others to speak for other islands, but I know that there's people in St. Kitts and Nevis who will accommodate a family, a two family, whatever, a worker, two worker. I know that farmers, can do with that kind of manpower.
Of course.
Yeah, etc. So it's just, you see, as we keep echoing, decisions and choices are made by people. And people's decisions and choices not always as it ought to be. And if in decision-making position, there is not the right places in the right places to make the right decisions so that, the right things can be implemented and make the struggle, make the struggle to be easy until it finally ends. We're going to continue.
We have to be a brothers and sisters keepers. We have to ask ourselves the question, what if something catastrophic took place and the shoe gets on the other foot? What do we do? We would like the compassion. We would like the understanding. We would like the empathy. We're human, and we all hurt the same way. But sometimes when you're at the top, you don't care about the others at the bottom. You pull up the ladder. And we have this sense of, well, we've arrived, we're superior, and the Haitians, we labeled them as being like subhuman. It's just wrong. It's just wrong. Even when the hurricanes pass through here, and the bypass saying is we boast that we are blessed. We are blessed. By that reasoning, you're saying, well, the others are cursed. No, they're not. We are just lucky this time around. So we need to get off our high horses, let our humanity shine through, and reach out and help people in distress.
Yes, indeed.
I recall we sent, I think it was $1 million to one of those countries, and we sent nothing to Haiti. You understand? Haiti is a CARICOM member state. And I know it can be frustrating for people to contemplate just helping people. But there are other persons, there are other nationalities who are being very rude and nasty to the Haitians. And we bring them here. Because what? They have a lighter complexion. Their country is being very disrespectful and rude and racist to the Haitians. But we bring them here. And they walk in and they enjoy our St. Kitts Nevis. But not the Haitians. You understand the problem I have with that? You understand the problem I have with that? So every time the human smugglers get caught smuggling people there and they come to St. Kitts, the people in the boats, the boat people, are the ones that suffer the most. So you penalize the human traffickers, but you have to give compassion. They're not leaving to come to St. Kitts. They're going elsewhere, and whatever happens, end up here, right? And a lawyer, I forget his name at the moment, made a case that these people must be given asylum because it's part of the UN Charter. But in our narrow-mindedness, in our selfishness, and in our miseducation about our own people, Haitians work voodoo, don't bring them here. We need to be bigger than that. We need to be bigger than that.
Brady, my brother, are you hearing me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay. I want to quickly and rightly thank the lawyer who took up that case.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. His headspace, his level is what it is, and is only somebody with that level will do such thing. We thank you heartily, my brother. Blessed Lord.
I think he appreciates that.
Thanks for taking the call, my brother. Blessed Lord.
You're welcome once again. We have one or two vehicles around Sebastian. We're about to break for the midday newscast. We got about 60 seconds. So we walk around town, and sometimes we drive around with the windows all turned up on our AC, etc. We see some vagrants around town. And we say there, but for the grace of God, go I. And you never stop to say, well, this person is hungry. Let me buy him a plate of food. I do it from time to time. Not because I want to say so on the air, but it's our humanity we have to let shine through. We see them sleeping, just a few, sleeping downtown. As a matter of fact, one guy told me, don't buy him the food, he can throw it away. And I went and bought the food, gave it to the gentleman. And he was happy. He was happy. There's another one, he used to be rich, had money thrown around, etc. His status has changed. He's a beggar on the street. He said, become Socrates. And I go and buy him something to eat. We have to let our humanity shine through. If not, we're just taking up space for nothing. At this point in time, we pause to address the Win FM's midday newscast, and we'll continue our discourse at the other end.
You found the sound. 98.9. Win FM.
We now bring you the headline news. The headline news is brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, KDP Enterprises, The Grange, and Carib Brewery.
When it comes to the important things in life, your health, your education, your choice of a life partner, and of course your insurance provider, only the best will do. Caribbean Alliance Insurance is the only insurance company in the Eastern Caribbean with an A excellent rating. We have a robust 3-tier reinsurance strategy that protects our policyholders from multiple catastrophes, even if they occur in quick succession. We spread our risks over 18 territories, ensuring minimal impact to individual territories when a disaster strikes. We provide an excellent claims experience. Claim settlement is usually between 24 to 48 hours. Our A excellent rating means that you are more secure with us. Contact us for motor, property, marine, public liability, employer's liability, and other policies. Dalil Walwyn, people you can trust. Local agent for Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Tomorrow secured.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Shipping your cargo shouldn't be a hassle. It can be as easy as a single call to Amerijet International, your worldwide cargo transportation solution. We provide all the services you need to ship your goods anywhere in the world, whether your shipment is fresh, frozen, large or small, alive or hazardous. You can count on Amerijet to deliver it safe and sound. Amerijet International, by land, sea or air, we get it there. For more information, visit us online at www.amerijet.com or call us at KDP Enterprises at 466-9595.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Basseterre in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
With the WINNFM Midday News, I am Kevon Brown. Our top stories: CARICOM leaders address the lack of action in helping most vulnerable accomplish 2030 SDGs. Second culinary student from St. Kitts and Nevis embarks on internship in New York City. OECS Secretary General condemns Venezuela's position on Guyana's oil auction. Governor declares a state of emergency in the West Virgin Islands. Internationally, the Eurozone economy will likely contract in the third quarter and won't return to growth anytime soon, a survey showed, despite a slight recovery in the bloc's business activity in September. Now the details. Prime Minister of Barbados, Mia Mottley, continues calling for access to financing for developing countries to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs. The Prime Minister and Access to Financing advocate, during a panel discussion titled Settling the Stage SDG Implementation at the Halftime, What Will It Take to Keep the SDG Promise, said a specific buy-in and framework is needed on the part of leading institutions, especially from multilateral development banks. Motley warned that access is one part of achieving the goals. Policy implementation, change in perspective, and shift in attitude is paramount as it relates to having as many countries, especially developing nations, reach the goal in the next 7 years.
All of our policies, including the terms and conditions for access to finance, have to reinforce the missions. If we believe that the SDGs are worth attaining, then we need to put a framework in place that allows the MDBs to value the SDGs and to be able to increase the length of time that you can have to repay for these funds. Thirdly, we need to ensure that as we do all of that, that we get countries and individuals to see the SDGs as individual targets. Because it is not only about the money that we access, it is also about the policies, it's also about the change of behavior, it's about the change of attitude. The reason why the Secretary General can speak about there being an abundance of food and people starving is because we choose not to act differently and we choose not to share with one another. So I believe that those 3 points are critical. Let us get the meetings with the credit rating agencies and the markets, and Ajay, I'd be interested in hearing your perspective on it, because you cannot continue to value short-term lending. You cannot continue to have metrics that don't support a move away from per capita GDP that is historic and tells us nothing about the country, while the vulnerability of the country increases exponentially.
Motley opined that the World Bank is the best to facilitate the financing of accomplishing the SDGs. However, she said she understands that there may not be enough public money, and thus other avenues for financing should be targeted.
I want to make the point that we cannot have SDGs for the benefit of global public goods and not have a mechanism for financing global public goods. And I still believe that the World Bank is the best place to locate the financing of global public goods, but I accept that there may not be enough public money. And to that extent, how do we mobilize money that now goes in non-state actors, most of whose balance sheets, the major multinational corporations have balance sheets that dwarf and miniaturize the majority of countries in this room. So we have to find a way of them contributing to the financing of global public goods, and we also have to find a way of philanthropic capital financing global public goods. They want to do good, but it can't only be what they want, it has to be what the world needs.
The 17 Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, were adopted by the United Nations in 2015 to end poverty, hunger, AIDS, and discrimination against women and girls, protect the planet, and ensure that by 2030 all people will enjoy peace and prosperity. One of the 17, climate action, has been a constant target for discourse on a lack of financial action. President of the Republic of Suriname, Khan Santoki, during his speech at the general debate of the 78th session of the General Assembly of the United Nations in New York, continued the message that small island developing states are most affected.
Another climate conference of the parties, COP28, is on our doorstep. As we are amidst in the reality of the increased intensity of the devastating global impact of climate change. It is regrettable to admit that despite some efforts, the world is still far from reaching the required level of emissions. And to prevent irreversible damage to our global environment and society. And we are bearing the brunt. While Suriname currently is experiencing extraordinary high temperatures resulting in challenges with regard to the availability of drinking water, inland areas are increasingly flooded by heavy rainfall, and coastal areas are threatened by the rising of the seawater level. As a consequence, the people living in remote parts of our vast interior are deprived of work, education, basic utilities, and food security is under threat. As one of the only 3 carbon negative countries in the world, Suriname remains committed and continues to play its part in protecting the planet through national actions, but also through engaging in strategic international public and private partnerships that will contribute to remaining carbon negative for now and also for the future.
The president of the CARICOM state reminded global leaders of the upcoming United Nations Climate Change Conference, COP28, to be hosted in the United Arab Emirates in the next 2 months, and said that the same trend of talk and no action could not continue.
We cannot go to Dubai in less than 2 months and hear the same analysis, the same stories, the same policies, the same speeches with noble goals, the same promises, and after that, nothing happens. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, it takes too long to make the required decisions that will have a meaningful impact and all will improve our living conditions. We need easier access to climate financing to implement mitigation and adaptation policies. We must walk the talk regarding loss and damage. We must join efforts that call for compensating highly forested countries for the so-called removal credits, as these countries so far have acted as carbon sinks for the whole world without any compensation. Mr. President, many of us have raised the urgent and comprehensive reform of the international financial architecture as the most critical issue to address the economic, financial, and environmental challenges faced by developing countries. An integral part of this reform process must include the discussion on new ways of classifying countries. And I ask all of us to contribute to the proposed multidimensional vulnerability index.
Government officials in St. Kitts and Nevis seek to turn the territory into the first sustainable island state, and to do that, the Federation has to achieve the SDGs well before the 2030 deadline. Daughter of the soil, Tiandra Francis, has gone to New York City to participate in a culinary internship with Chef Pino Luongo. Francis is the second student to participate in this internship program by way of the St. Kitts Tourism Authority, with Chef Pino following a Hail Primus in 2022. To continue enhancing the culinary experience of the Federation's tourism product, the St. Kitts Tourism Authority is investing in the nation's youth, which, according to the tourism body, is a critical element of its plan to boost tourism and promote sustainability. Joanne Bedminster, Human Resources and Operations Manager at the SKTA, spoke about the journey the body has embarked on to grow the culinary industry in the Federation, including Hail Primus's 2022 experience and Tiandra Francis's journey to New York to expand her culinary skills.
It is my pleasure to basically paint a picture of how we have seen our mission to grow and foster the culinary arts in the Federation. The journey began in 2019, where 3 students from the CFBC were selected by Chef Pino Luongo during a restaurant week activity in 2019. He noticed the capabilities and he noticed their passion for the industry, and thus proposed the opportunity to have them intern at one of his restaurants in New York. Thus far, we have seen Haile Primus venture to the United States in 2022, where he has wowed Chef Pino as well as his head chef, David Camara. The road to this internship has seen the students grow leaps and bounds. The SKTA's offices remain open for communication between the CFBC as well as between Candice Kimmel and Chef Pino Luongo in the United States. We would like to say thank you to Carrie Brewery, who has stepped in to sponsor Miss Tiandra Francis's trip to the United States. She will be journeying to Manhattan, where she will intern at the Coco Morso restaurant in Manhattan. Tiandra Francis is a promising talent within the culinary scene in St. Kitts. We have seen her grow from a student at the CFBC to a cook at the Kittitian Hill Hotel. Also, she has worked at the MSR Hotel, which was newly established, and she is making a mark for herself. She also recently served as a judge at the first annual Grill Fest hosted by the SKTA, and we are excited to see what opportunities and how Tiandra grows as she continues to be exposed. She delves into the culinary scene in one of the greatest culinary capitals of the world. We are very, very proud of you, Tiandra, and we wish you the best of luck. The SKTA remains committed to enhancing the culinary scene in St. Kitts through educational opportunities such as the Chef Pino Luongo internship.
Additionally, the SKTA has partnered with Chef Pino Luongo, Candice Kimmel, and the Culinary Division at the Clarence Fitzroy Bryant College to work on expanding the culinary industry in St. Kitts and Nevis. With continued support from the culinary expertise of Luongo and Kimmel, the authority has created a transformative experience for future culinary experts in the Federation. In regional news, OECS Secretary General condemns Venezuela's position on Guyana's oil auction. Governor declares a state of emergency in the U.S. Virgin Islands. Those reports and more from Carib Update.
Governor of the U.S. Virgin Islands, Albert Bryan Jr., has issued an executive order declaring a state of emergency throughout the U.S. Virgin Islands due to an ongoing fire at the Bovany landfill in St. Thomas. The fire, which has been burning since September 14, has led to poor air quality, resulting in the closure of schools and businesses in the affected areas. The fire at Bovany landfill is not sustainably contained, and immediate action is required to secure support to extinguish the flames. External assistance will be coordinated through the Emergency Management Assistance Compact as the fire continues to burn below the surface of the landfill's green waste area. Grenada is about to get tough on guns. Prime Minister Dickon Mitchell told a press conference on Tuesday that his administration will seek to table legislation in a bid to curb the increase of gun violence on the island. While he acknowledged that crime in general has been on a downward trend, he said gun-related crimes are increasing.
In total, we have 18 homicides for the year, many of them gun-related. And as I've said repeatedly, firearms are lethal. They're meant to kill. And I dare say, perhaps in some of these instances where firearms not involved, some of the victims may very well have survived whatever altercation or issue they had with the perpetrators of the crime.
He said his administration intends to take a very robust response to the issue, adding that Cabinet intends to pilot legislation to amend the Firearms Act to introduce far more significant penalties for people found in unlawful possession of a firearm.
And we certainly intend to pilot the necessary legislation before we go on the Christmas break to be read in Parliament so that it could be enacted into law to signal our view that the possession of unlawful firearms, the use of unlawful firearms, the trading in unlawful firearms will not be something that we will tolerate or countenance.
Mitchell also said that the government has appointed a National Security Advisory Council.
And the first order of business that it will be mandated to do is to carry out a series of national consultations, which we hope to commence in October.
Mitchell said that the government will also be constituting a project team to advise it on the implementation of CCTV cameras at significant public areas on the island. He said the government is already in possession of the cameras, and his administration will adopt a deliberate policy of investing more in the Coast Guard.
We are certainly recognize that we do not produce firearms in Grenada, and they are clearly coming into Grenada from outside of Grenada. We will continue to work with our partners in the region and in North America in particular to address how we can stymie the flow of firearms into Grenada and into the region, because once they get into the region, then we too are vulnerable for the risk of it getting into Grenada.
The Secretary General of the Organization of American States, Luis Almagro, has criticized Venezuela's position regarding Guyana's ongoing oil auction. Last week, the Irfan Ali administration announced that it had received bids for 8 of the country's oil blocks, which are located offshore Guyana. In a statement, Venezuela strongly rejected the auction. Almagro says the hemispheric body recognizes the right of Guyana to welcome investors. Both the Guyana government and the opposition parties condemned Venezuela's stance, saying the government has the right to develop resources in any part of the country. The Biden administration on Wednesday said that it was granting temporary legal status to hundreds of thousands of Venezuelans who are already in the country as it grapples with growing numbers of people fleeing the South American country and elsewhere to arrive at the United States border with Mexico. The move, along with promises to accelerate work permits for many migrants, may appease Democratic leaders who have pressured the White House to do more to aid asylum seekers, while also providing grist for Republicans who say the president has been too lax on immigration. The Homeland Security Department plans to grant temporary protected status to an estimated 472,000 Venezuelans who arrived in the country as of July 31, 2023, making it easier for them to get authorization to work in the U.S., a key demand of Democratic mayors and governors who are struggling to care for an increased number of migrants in their care. In Trinidad and Tobago, an injunction granted by the Industrial Court to Caribbean Airlines Limited (CAL) to other pilots to work after a sickout from August 18 to 20 has been extended to November. On August 21, CAL was granted an injunction by the Industrial Court and the Pilots Union. The Trinidad and Tobago Pilots Association was instructed to direct workers and employees to immediately report to duty. The injunction was in force until September 28. At a news conference on August 24, CAL's chief executive Gavin Madera says the injunction was to put a stop to the inconvenience which the airline faced. The Attorney General's office has now joined the matter, and as a result, the injunction has been extended until November 10. The government of Belize has brought a lawsuit against former Minister of Natural Resources, Hugo Pat. The claim is for alleged misfeasance in office. The government believes that the former Deputy Prime Minister acted wrongfully in the execution of a land transaction in the Bellemere Phase 5 area. It is alleged that in September 2020, the then UDP administration acquired 26 acres of land in Bellemere at a cost of $6.5 million. The lands were acquired to create subdivisions for the residents of Colade. But 2 months later, just before the 2020 general election, what was then public lands was sold to Roosevelt Blades for an alleged $26,000. The former lands minister has refuted that figure, asserting that the lands were sold for $58,000. Pat also claimed that an idea was explored to put this land in a trust for the people of Colade.
We now bring you these international reports.
The Eurozone economy will likely contract in the third quarter and it won't return to growth anytime soon. That was the reading from key data released Friday. The dour outlook comes despite a slight recovery in the bloc's business activity in September. The flash Eurozone Composite Purchasing Managers Index, or PMI, rose to 47.1 this month, up from August's 33-month low of 46.7. The number was better than analyst forecasts, but still below the crucial 50 mark. Anything below that level indicates contracting activity, while figures above that represent growth. But one leading economist told Reuters the PMI services numbers paint a grim picture, and they saw manufacturing as the main drag on the bloc's economy. September's fall in overall activity came despite firms barely raising their charges. The Composite Output Prices Index dropped to 52.2 from 53.3, its lowest in 2.5 years. But policymakers at the European Central Bank will likely be happy to see it come down. Last week, They raised their key interest rate to a record high of 4% in the fight against inflation. Services was a slight bright spot, rising to 48.4 from 47.9. But with the figure still below 50, it suggests consumers have cut back on spending due to higher borrowing costs. The manufacturing PMI has been beneath 50 since midway through last year. It dipped to 43.4 when analysts had expected some improvement.
From a Succession drama 7 decades in the making, to why Disney is betting big on theme parks, this is the week in numbers. 71 years is how long Rupert Murdoch spent at the helm of his media empire. He's finally handing the reins to his eldest son, Lachlan. Former News Corp exec John Miller says it's the end of an era.
I think Rupert may just be about the last of the founder moguls in the media business. And you think about people like Ted Turner in that regard, for example, Sumner Redstone, and now Rupert Murdoch, and maybe a nod to John Malone, who's still at it. But the kind of high-profile media mogul, I think, was exemplified by the group I just mentioned, and Rupert is the remaining stalwart there.
Now, some Murdoch watchers think Rupert's other children might one day challenge Lachlan's primacy, setting the stage for a real-life succession drama. $60 billion is how much Disney will invest in its theme parks over the next decade. That's almost double the previous plan. The firm is banking on its profitable parks to cushion losses from video streaming. Almost $9.9 billion was the value put on grocery app Instacart in a stock offering. But the shares soon gave up their early gains, raising doubts about an IPO revival. Hopes were dimmed further by a slide for shares in chip designer ARM, the other big recent debutant. $14 billion is the value put on Japanese conglomerate Toshiba. It's being taken private in a deal led by Japan Industrial Partners. The firm hopes that can help it move on from years of scandals. And $28 billion is how much Cisco is paying to buy cybersecurity firm Splunk. The biggest tech deal of the year is meant to boost Cisco's software business and help it muscle in on the AI boom.
From Russian-controlled Crimea, Moscow says Ukrainian missiles have targeted its Black Sea Fleet headquarters in the peninsula. It said Russian air defense systems shot down 5 missiles during the attack in Sevastopol, but black smoke has been seen billowing from the base. Crimea's Russian-backed governor has urged civilians to remain indoors and stay away from the city center until further notice. In recent weeks, Ukraine has stepped up its attacks on Russia's navy. Journalist Yulia Shapovalova is standing by in Moscow for us. First, though, let's talk to Zain Basravi in the Ukrainian capital. Zain, what are you learning about this?
Well, obviously, we're getting very differing reports from Russian and Ukrainian sources, but here on the ground in Kyiv, leaders, military and civilian alike, will be celebrating what they consider, no doubt, to be a successful mission on the Crimean Peninsula. We've heard attacks of multiple missile attacks on targets in the peninsula, multiple explosions in the last few hours, and the prime target seems to be the headquarters of the Black Sea Fleet. Now, the Black Sea Fleet has been the main military thrust of Russia's in this war in Ukraine since the invasion began. And this will no doubt come as a major problem for Russian forces here. What we're hearing is other locations were also hit, 4 other locations on the peninsula, but it seems to be that the headquarters of the Black Sea Fleet was a primary target. Now, we've heard unconfirmed reports of casualties there being in the double digits, and it comes after a week or two of some very high-profile missions taken by the Ukrainians. Just over a week ago, they destroyed a submarine and a warship in a Sevastopol dry dock. They also took back the Boyka Towers in the Black Sea, an important location from which Russia operated logistics for its military operations in the area. And we also heard reports in the last week that Russian air defenses in Crimea had been taken out, seemingly in preparation for this very high-profile attack. Now, though Ukrainian forces will be seeing this as a success, there is some concern that this could lead to retaliatory attacks on Kyiv and other cities. No doubt people are on high alert here. However, that is not dampening spirits. It seems that the Ukrainians are putting out celebratory messages on social media saying it will get worse for the Russians on the occupied Crimean Peninsula. And a note from the National Security Council's Alexei Danilov. Let me just read to you a recent statement by him. This sort of gives a sense of what more is to come. He said there are two options for the future of Russia's Black Sea Fleet: voluntary or forced self-neutralization. So that gives you a sense of how seriously Ukrainian forces are pursuing trying to, if not immediately take back the peninsula, which has been the stated goal for some time, at the very least, make it very difficult for Russian positions to remain there.
Zain, thank you very much. I want to get the Russian perspective on this. Let's go to Yulia Shapovalova. Yulia, you're in Moscow. Russia's fleet in the Black Sea, a major military asset. What is Russia saying about this?
Well, absolutely. First, we're getting reports from the Russian Ministry of Defense, and according to them, 5 missiles had been shot down, 1 serviceman was killed, and 5 more injured. So what we see indicates that the Russian-Ukrainian armed conflict is raging on, and this time around, Russia's fleet, Russia's precious asset, as you said, has been targeted. So according to the governor of Sevastopol, the civilian infrastructure around the fleet headquarters, which are located in the very center of the city, was not actually damaged. And the people who were on the street at the time of the strike were also unhurt. The police had cordoned off the central part of the city where the debris had scattered around an area of 200 meters. The building itself suffered significant damage as well. And also a fire started there right after that attack. Firefighters are still putting it out. Residents have been asked not to travel to the center, and according to preliminary reports, the air defense missiles, the air defenses actually missed 2 missiles and shot down 8, but presumably there were British cruise missiles of the Storm Shadow type or similar French ones, but that information has to be verified.
Scientists and stargazers will have their eyes on the skies above the U.S. state of Utah this weekend. A capsule is due to plummet from space at more than 15 times the speed of a rifle bullet. It contains rocks and dust from an asteroid which took 4 years to reach Earth. Those samples could give vital clues about the formation of our planet more than 4 billion years ago. Live now to Dr. Brad Tucker, astrophysicist and cosmologist at the College of Science at the Australian National University. I think I've simplified it there, haven't I, really? This has been quite an achievement for the science world, for the space world as well.
It is, everything we usually do, we study from afar. We take pictures from a telescope, we measure data, we even send probes to measure them on the surface. So rarely and so few times have we been able to collect samples, take them from the object, and then make that return journey back to land them on Earth so they can be studied them vastly superior in the labs all around the world. As you said, this probe took years to get there, traveling nearly 2 billion kilometers just to get to the asteroid and then to come back. Previously had years of building in the future. So this has been definitely the culmination of over a decade's worth of effort to get these amount of samples back to the Earth to be studied.
All right, let me just fill in a couple of gaps for our viewers. So it's taken 7 years. OSIRIS-REx travelled to asteroid Bennu. Bennu is actually really quite small. I believe it's only 500 meters wide. What exactly did OSIRIS-REx achieve, and how on earth did it collect the samples?
That's right. So, the asteroid itself isn't very big, and it's a part of a collection of asteroids that are mostly what we call carbonous chondrites. These are kind of like loose piles of rubble. And these, we think, are often the bits of the solar system that formed around the same time as the Earth and things like that formed into these clumps and then kind of just stayed there since then. So this probe, OSIRIS-REx, left the Earth, traveled this huge distance, nearly 2 billion kilometers, reached the asteroid Bennu. Now, it had a target of what its goal was to do was to go down to the surface, and then it had this little hose that essentially puffed and vacuumed up the samples. Now, they hit this object within about 90 centimeters of the center, so it traveled nearly 2 billion kilometers to something only a few hundreds of meters wide to be at the center to within 100 centimeters to collect all of this sample, vacuum them up in this container, and then this container was sealed to then leave the asteroid and make the return journey back, of which we're going to see Sunday.
You were listening to the Midday News on WINNFM 98.9. The headlines: CARICOM leaders address the lack of action in helping most vulnerable accomplish 2030 SDGs. Second culinary student from St. Kitts and Nevis embarks on internship in New York City. OECS Secretary General condemns Venezuela's position on Guyana's oil auction. Governor declares a state of emergency in the West Virgin Islands. Internationally, the Eurozone economy will likely contract in the third quarter and won't return to growth anytime soon, a survey showed, despite a slight recovery in the bloc's business activity in September. Thank you for listening.
That was the WINNFM Headline News. The Headline News was brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, KDP Enterprises, The Grange, and Carib Brewery.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Basseterre in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
Shipping your cargo shouldn't be a hassle. It can be as easy as a single call to Amerijet International, your worldwide cargo transportation solution. We provide all the services you need to ship your goods anywhere in the world, whether your shipment is fresh, frozen, large or small, alive or hazardous. You can count on Amerijet to deliver it safe and sound. Amerijet International, by land, sea or air, we get it there. For more information, visit us online at www.amerijet.com or call us at KDP Enterprises at 466-9595.
With over a century of perfection behind the Mackeson name, a smooth blend with perfect balance and richness, it's no wonder Mackeson Triple Stout has a legacy of perfection. Enjoy the world over. Introducing our new look with the same great taste. Mackeson. All hail the king.
Please drink responsibly.
When it comes to the important things in life, your health, your education, your choice of a life partner, and of course your insurance provider, only the best will do. Caribbean Alliance Insurance is the only insurance company in the Eastern Caribbean with an A excellent rating. We have a robust 3-tier reinsurance strategy that protects our policyholders from multiple catastrophes, even if they occur in quick succession. We spread our risks over 18 territories, ensuring minimal impact to individual territories when a disaster strikes. We provide an excellent claims experience. Claim settlement is usually between 24 to 48 hours. Our A excellent rating means that you are more secure with us. Contact us for motor, property, marine, public liability, employer's liability, and other policies. Dalil Walwyn, people you can trust. Local agent for Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Tomorrow secured.
different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Hurricane season can be unpredictable, but your business doesn't have to be. In the face of adversity, you need a partner that goes above and beyond. Choose the path of resilience and certainty with C&W Business. Through disaster recovery as a strategy solution, C&W Business will safeguard your critical data, maintain seamless communication channels, and help you bounce back faster than ever before. Visit our website, cwcbusiness.com/myopenbusiness to learn more. Remember, a safe business is an open business.
Weak instability will persist over the islands today and into tonight as a weak trough moves into the area, and this will maintain a moderate chance of brief showers over the islands. Today, partly cloudy with a 40% chance or moderate chance of brief showers. Tonight, partly cloudy with a 60% or moderate chance of brief showers. Sunset today will be at 6:07 p.m. Sunrise tomorrow at 6:01 a.m. That's your weather forecast for today, which came to you with the kind compliments of CW Business.
Hurricane season can be unpredictable, but your business doesn't have to be. In the face of adversity, you need a partner that goes above and beyond. Choose the path of resilience and certainty with C&W Business. Through disaster recovery as a strategy solution, C&W Business will safeguard your critical data, maintain seamless communication channels, and help you bounce back faster than ever before. Visit our website, cwcbusiness.com/myopenbusiness to learn more. Remember, a safe business is an open business.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Riddle this, riddle that. Horseman's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store is again giving away hundreds of thousands of dollars in cashback for free groceries with every hire purchase. Will be given back this coupon season. Happening now. Hundreds of thousands of dollars in cashback coupon to all our hire purchase customers this coupon season. Starting now until December 2023. You get absolutely free groceries with every hire purchase at our Horseman's Furniture and Appliances stores on St. Kitts Nevis and our Ashley Home Store on St. Kitts. So riddle this. Where can you get quality furniture and appliances at great prices with a flexible FlexPlay plan and with absolutely free groceries with every hire purchase? Riddle that. Cashback at Horseman's Furniture and Appliances on St. Kitts Nevis and our Ashley Home Store on St. Kitts. Riddle this. Riddle that. Horseman's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store is giving you over $250,000 in cashback and a chance to win free groceries for a year. Riddle that cashback. Terms and conditions apply. See store for details.
In the studios of WINNFM 98.9, the time is 12:42. I want to say welcome back to our viewers and listeners. We're well into the second half of today's presentation of Voices. It's Friday, the 22nd day of September. Fantastic Friday for tons of people throughout the world. So we just here chilling. Weather's fine downtown, and the band plays on. Now, yesterday, I happened to be touring the Wharton family, who was home from the UK on vacation. And while touring the fortress, we went into one of the rooms, the upper level by the museum for display. And there was a depiction of enslaved Africans. But if you were to read and look at what was happening. It was a depiction of the building of the fortress. And one would leave with the impression that the workers, the enslaved, were volunteering. They volunteered. Now, we know that emancipation of slavery took part here in 1834 on St. Kitts. The building of the fortress started in 1690. And what you see today represents 104 years of slave labor. So one of the members of the family was very upset. He says, why are you depicting this? Why are people of St. Kitts Nevis allowing this to happen? Because the tourists come here and you're educating them about your history, but they get this impression by this mural that the workers and the slaves were volunteering. And they dress in, tie, well, this is just a casual day. Some were stonemasons, some were this, some were, and you get a sense that they were volunteering. So I promised the gentleman that I would do some more research and address that topic in more detail at a more appropriate time, but it's really wrong. I recall there was a children's book some time ago, and the author sort of glossed over the history of St. Kitts, totally admitting the contribution and the nature of the contribution of Africans. So fine, we have those issues to address also. So for the Wharton family over there, I'm expecting to hear from you because you said you wanted to call in today to address certain things and ways. So the lines are open. We're in the second half of today's presentation. It's Friday, so the next time I'm in town is going to be on Monday. I know you live in Shortly, so give it a chance. Give it a chance. Let's call in and let's hear from you all. By the way, Chris Collins, I stepped out a while ago and went and bought me a patty or two at Fulton Bakery. Not getting my free plug, and it was delicious. So you're not the only one to boast about food. I had a wonderful. Yes, and we go straight to the phone lines. Caller, good afternoon. Welcome to the program.
Hi, good afternoon, the King.
With respect, good afternoon, sir. How are you?
I'm good, man. Giving thanks for life and yourself.
Man, I'm fantastic.
I was in a position yesterday when I saw you pass with a group of persons. I was on the Frigate Bay Road and you was probably going back towards the resort end.
What time was this? After 3?
Somewhere around there, yeah.
Yeah, okay. The tour started at 9 o'clock. We were done after 3. And I said to them, normally this is 3.5 to 4 hours. But it was a wonderful experience. We spent lots of time here and there and there and there. So I'm still happy at the end of it that, we had this great time to share with our people.
And the member from the Wharton family is so correct.
Yes.
For what the question he asked. But how can we... I present a unique tour in that even though his history is there, I'm trying to present our story also. You will notice, for instance, at Bloody Point, and you would have heard, the King, I heard you. You would have heard the way some of our tour guides or the taxi guides would want to present, what unfolds to our visitors with somewhat condescending of, for instance, the Kalinago people.
Yes.
If you're going to be condescending about the Kalinago people, that it is a bad reflection on your own self.
Of course.
And so I am very sensitive about that. And even though I tell a story within a balanced way, but also towing the line that this is me rewriting the story. And it reminds me as what the old adage would say. And a lot of our presidents on the continent mostly will use that. You talk about when the grass gets trampled when the elephants fight, right?
That is correct.
When the lions start to write its own story, then the hunter would not always be glorified.
That is true.
Because not all the time the hunter goes out to hunt and he come back home on
That
sheep.
is true.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So that was a good question. And how can we enhance on our tour and depict us more as to, for instance, maybe the British, they had their engineering skill, but when the colonizers came to the continent, they selectively chosen a group of people who had the skills.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is a testimony that we built the world.
We were a very cultured people and still is. So that depiction of us as being like clueless, mindless, ignorant, served the purpose of the colonizers in terms of how they want to portray us.
We want to divert now into something else because I listened to some of them, because the General Assembly, the UN General Assembly, from time to time they will call up whatever meetings for whatever emergencies, like climate change and the like. And so I listened to William Ruto.
Yes.
And while I think, in my mind, I think the president, before they get to the UN, they will say, well, I will adjust this, and you will adjust that, and you will adjust that, and you will adjust that. The different president will adjust certain areas of matters of concern. William Ruto, he really brought it home because all of the morass with Haiti, and Haiti is descending into chaos and disorder, and no one concerns about it. No one concerns about it. And William Ruto spoke about, in the Somalian, in Somalia with the different groups, the Al-Shabaab and, the Ethiopian conflict amongst the internal struggle, the Sudan, because there are so many conflicts on the continent. And he is saying that the AU have missions that will go there and say, hey, come to the table. And we will not relent as to be into the table of the United Nations, because it all started in the League of Nations when Emperor Haile Selassie went there as the only independent country in Africa. And then it morphed into the United Nations probably about 1936 or somewhere around there.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's just that. But he really struck a chord when he spoke about Haiti and the reasons, the cause for Haiti. And if they're not going to adhere to it, we will do it. We will do it. The African Union will assemble a group of security personnel and bring it to Haiti to bring about some semblance of order.
Okay.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for your contribution. And let me say good afternoon to Amber, which is down there in Anguilla. She's logged on listening, and she has to give me an update as to what's happening in Anguilla. In the meantime, though, we're joined in the studio by a very young and accomplished gentleman. While he gets settled in, he's Mr. Eustace Maynard, a surgical advisor. And he said the best way to protect the future is to create it. He's here to speak with us on a matter that he's been trying to reach us via the phone to discuss. So I'm going to have him introduce himself to the public. Welcome to the studios of Win FM. The mic is all yours.
Well, the King, a special good afternoon to you, and I must say good afternoon to the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis throughout the Leewards, around the rest of the Eastern Caribbean, and all those who are logged in wherever you are, somewhere, just about everywhere around the world. Maybe it could be at this time, morning for you, afternoon for you, or evening. So I greet you, I reach you, and I invite you to stay tuned for the very important discussion which we will have this afternoon. Today is a very beautiful day. We were blessed with the showers of blessings, and we are very happy as a nation that the Master opened his clouds and poured his tremendous amount of blessing on this nation. And we are very happy that we are still in the hurricane season, And up to date, we have not had a named storm.
I'm not sure if we're happy, How it's
well, happy.
Fortunate.
Well, yes, happy. Well, fortunate, and make us happy that we have not received at our shows in terms of any named storm. We are already just about 114 days in the hurricane season 2023, and just about some 69 more days left in the hurricane season 2023, with just about 101 more days left in the year 2023. And I must take this opportunity to say, well, if you're celebrating a birthday, an anniversary, to say congratulations, this is your day, your special moment. And we urge you, invite you, and encourage you to make the very best of this very important day in your lives. And anyone who are mourning the loss of a loved one, we say that we open our praise for you and hope that the Lord would be with you at this very time when you are grieving and give you strength. But we have so many topics to discuss, to share, to interact, to have our views, our opinion, our ideas, and suggestions that can elevate, develop, and enhance, which is in the best interest of St. Kitts and Nevis. I will just say, before I break, I don't really know about you, but I love St. Kitts and Nevis bad.
Got to fight well, not a problem. You've been trying to get in on the program via the telephone for some time, and you've expressed disappointment at not being able to do so because sometimes the calls are backed up, we have callers who are on. So this morning, I put out an admonition to keep the calls short, succinct, to the point, and so far I'm happy that the callers have been doing so. But you had some concerns about certain things as it relates to development in terms of a history. Especially as it relates to independence celebration and how a lot of it was portrayed. So let's hear what was in your mind.
Well, first of all, I must say it was a, real joy and pleasure to be around to celebrate our 40th anniversary, which I must take the opportunity and wish all of our citizens in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis a happy independence 40th year, which is a very, very important milestone. And we had, over the years, so much achievement, so much success stories. And we are happy, that we could have celebrated such a very important time in our nation's history. But there are some things, that I was not really pleased about in terms of the, how certain things were done. And I can say in reference to the father of our independence, I hear of the debates, who started, who had negotiated, firstly. But the reality, because I don't sometimes hear where people would state, boy, you're trying to divert the facts. You can't divert the facts. It's one thing in life that man cannot change. Just about anything man can change. But if it's one thing that man cannot change the facts. And we are happy and proud, for even today, we have the father of our independence who is still alive. And at 87, he would have been the one who took us into independence. So, Kennedy, the Right Honorable Excellency, Dr. Kennedy Simmons. And I am extremely proud, and I can tell you that I am speaking and the position of what an individual and also collectively as a government would have done this has nothing to do with party anymore, because when it comes to St. Kitts and Nevis, nothing, whether red, blue, green, yellow, black, whatever. The most important thing when it comes to our country is St. Kitts and Nevis, and that is very, very important to me. So we are looking at the 40th anniversary of independence, and we have, as I said, in our midst, still in our presence, still in our society, in our country, the person who would have led us into independence. And I would have, listened to many different forums, discussions, programs, and I am appalled. I am very disappointed in terms of a lot of things that I would have heard. And when someone would have led us into independence, and you have a milestone, that person, honestly, automatically and professionally should be recognized, acknowledged, and supported for his contribution and leadership. That go without saying. Very, very, very important. And you had, different forums, which I must say, before I continue, a few Mondays ago, there was a independent lecture by Sir Kennedy. And to see somebody at his age, at this stage, would have delivered at 87, not that he only presented, executed, and demonstrated pure class, but the delivery is what and was so important and impactful. And, we are very happy that he's still in this state, in this still condition and position.
He has always had great delivery. He's very enigmatic and charismatic. So that's, well, for people who knows him, that's no surprise. But I want to ask you, why do you feel the need for you to come and emphasize or make sure or mention that he is the father of the Federation in terms of achieving independence?
Well, I see it as something very important because, as I said, a time like, or a milestone.
Are you saying that he's not acknowledged as the father of the nation? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I hear at some quarters, but not really at the official quarters. And based on what I would have seen and heard over the independence celebration, for instance, I can name a few of them, but I've heard even the big discussion about the drone show at the independence celebration. And imagine, there is no excuse. No excuse. I heard all kind of different reasons, and maybe it could be next time and whatever. Imagine you're going to make goat water without goat meat. The most important, if you do it without maybe the potato or the dumpling or whatever, but the main important ingredients, you can't have a human being without heart. Maybe somebody could be alive without the hand, without the foot, without the eye. But you can't have them alive without what is the most important organs. That is, necessary and important to keep your
The sad
body
thing
going.
is that it became debatable when it should not have. Okay? We understand that His Excellency Robert Blatcher would have made his contribution, but he is hailed as being the father of the nation. To me personally, I find that's misinformation. It's teaching selective history to the students, and it is wrong. I spoke about that last week when I was here. The person who that designation should go to is the person that took us into independence. Now, the Honorable Robert Blatcher started the discussions. He started discussions and the efforts to get the three islands, St. Kitts, Nevis, and Anguilla, to agree to go into independence. We achieved statehood in 1967. Anguilla seceded in 1967. Going back as far as 1975, 76, thereabouts, Nevis was pushing the secession movement. Up until Mr. Bratcher died in 1978?
Yeah.
Thereabouts. After he died, we had the Honorable Paul Southwell, who was the premier for a year.
Mm-hmm.
Then after we had Premier Limor.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure what effort Mr. Southwell would have put towards the movement. I know Premier Limor made some efforts to get that moving again. So discussions were started with the Honorable Premier Bratcher, went to Southwell, went to Limor, and nothing happened because Nevis was adamant they would not go into any negotiations or go into independence with Limor or the Labour Party. So that ended there. Because of the by-election in 1980, Dr. Simmons became the then premier and was able to get divisions by way of Clause 113 in the Constitution, because they were still talking secession. And Clause 113 was a guarantee, should you want to secede after 18 months, you have that clause as a tool.
But you would have said something, and I think when it comes to the WINNFM studio, we have to state when it comes to the facts. You would have said that Dr. Simmons became premier after the by-election, but that's not really correct. He became premier after the general election, and there is where he joined with the NRP to form the government.
Stand corrected.
Yeah. So, but, you would have stated correctly in terms of, leaders who would have made the initiation and contribution. But when it comes to the real thing, the big thing, which we were very happy, and that very important morning, evening into the morning, on the 19th of September, when our flag, raised for the first time. And what was also very, very important, that the drizzle rain that came down from the heavens.
One of my songs said the blessings came down in the form of a light rain.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
As we watch our flag unfurl.
Yes. And that was really a very important time in our nation and moments history, in our nation's history. And we're very, very happy. And as we look back over the years and seen the tremendous amount of contributions and development, many different leaders and parties would have made their contributions over the years. And we have to thank, because as long as anyone making a contribution which is in the best interest of St. Kitts and Nevis, that should be acknowledged, supported, and recognized.
Do you think that Dr. Simmons is getting the due respect that he's due?
No. Not in a lot of sense, not in a lot of quarters. I'm telling you, I'm very, very disappointed when you comes to, as I said, independence, and it's just like an afterthought. I heard the present Prime Minister just the other day, even in Parliament, and it's sometimes during his presentation, he said, and I have to remember Dr. Simmons. You have to remember. I mean, Dr. Simmons, when it comes to independence,
should have been the first national hero. Should have been the first national hero, in my estimation.
Well, even that would be another debate. But the main important thing I'm saying, when it comes to our independence celebration, there is no afterthought, there is no maybe and no but and no opinion. It is a fact that this leader, former Prime Minister, citizen, which has been an outstanding leader who transformed the economy of St. Kitts and Nevis. I mean, if I have to go back, if I have to talk about governance, performance, and other things in reference to where we came from to where we are today. I am extremely proud, and the people of St. Kitts and Nevis owe Dr. Simmons a tremendous amount of gratitude, because when you look at what was done under his leadership and his government, well, I don't really like to say leaders' government, because the government is really the government of St. Kitts and Nevis.
We have a contributor to the discussion, so we may have lost that caller. Okay, let's take the next call and see what they have to contribute. The loss, okay. 6620989 gets you in on the discussion. Let's hear your point of view on the topic. Good day, caller, you're live on Voices.
Socrates, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. Welcome to the program.
Yeah, good afternoon to the Walking Encyclopedia.
Yes, good afternoon to you, sir, and how are you doing?
Not bad, but at the same time, as me outside there listening, me not get no concrete something. So I got me bobbing and weaving, me wait to hear something and me not hear nothing. So, you're the teacher today?
Okay, so
me the student.
Okay, so you want us to go into in terms of the things that were achieved under the leadership of Dr. Simmons?
Let me forget about the achievement, what we achieved. You state, me want to know today, who you will consider the father of the nation, regardless to other contribution from other people, forget about favoritism, everything. So who you to consider as the father of the nation? That's all I want to know. Who you to teach, who no know, are the father of the federation?
The father of the nation, separately to the father of independence?
No, well, if I go be independent, you can consider statehood. A statehood, I make done before independence.
That's correct.
Yes,
so
yes.
Right. So you independent now. So in other words, okay, the federation, let me say, 200 years old. But the moment that you get independent, you start there one. So now you, how much?
40.
40 years.
Right. So then, regardless of what contribution we done, all the statehood, and so that no count now, independent, no. Just you turn one new page. So, as me the student, you have to tell me now, who are the father of the nation? So say that, let the whole world know who are the father of the nation, regardless to other people and their favoritism. You get that?
Yes, yes.
Okay then. You listen up here.
Well, the father of the nation, in my opinion, is the Right Honorable His Excellency Sir Kennedy Alphonse Simmons.
Still there? Okay, caller 11 Voices.
Yeah, man. Good afternoon again, man. How you guys doing? All right?
Good, yes.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yeah, man. Is any way the guest can put his name out there, man? The voice sounds very familiar, but I just can't bring his name.
He's asking to mention your name. You sound familiar about that.
Well, my name is Eustace Maynard. I regularly used to be here on Monday nights in reference to the sports program, because as a cricket commentator and an expert of the cricket and the sports, this is something that I love very much. I wanted to even touch on that, but I'll probably leave that for another time. But so if you used to listen...
That's where I think I picked you up from, man, from cricket. But anyway, man, the father of the nation right now, man, it should be a no-brainer. But as you're talking about cricket, right, the persons in the federation, when their party's not in, man, they don't... It's like as if their life is over. They don't feel good. But yet still we have a motto country above self. In regards to the question,
Caller, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I'm hearing some echo, and I'm not too sure, like you're breaking up, so I'm not too sure if it's from our end or it's your end.
I think
You,
it's
you
from
can
his
hear
end
us
because
clearly?
I tried the thing to Jack and
Yeah. I could hear you clearly.
Oh, okay. And now I can hear you, so it seemed like it's something.
Anyway, we
Yeah,
got we're pushing against the time, so make a point, please, if you can, and let's move
Yeah,
on.
okay, man. As you mentioned cricket, you know what I mean? I'm just saying that the some persons who are on that side of the equation, they don't really have any sportsmanship. You know what I'm saying? You know, some of these debates is not even necessary. But if those supporters, who maybe are the supporters of the Labour government, who want to discredit Simmons, you know, I would just encourage them to ask their leader to take the nation republic, and then we'll be like 1-on-1. It'll be a Pan man take us into independence, and a Labour man take us into republic, and that's what end that debate right there. All right, man. Thanks a lot.
Okay, thanks for calling.
Thanks for your contribution. Any other calls are available, sir? We have the wardens trying to get in on the discussion, but the phone lines are not really working with them. Anyway, continue if you can.
Yes, and while I'm on the cricket a bit, let me just take the opportunity to congratulate the young lady, Jazara Claxton, who was born on the 12th of March 2006 at the age of 17 and 195 days old. Just played for the West Indies under-19 team, and we hope that she will continue to stay focused and positive. She's a well-rounded individual and sports athlete. So we commend her, and we also encourage her to continue to strive. And hopefully one day we will see her in the senior team wearing the maroon colors, and we wish her all the very best in her future. But as we continue the discussions, and I can say that in terms of the many achievements over the years, which, when you look at it, very important development programs and projects initiated and created by this outstanding leader. And I wonder where, to be honest, where our country and economy would have been today. When you look at it, the introduction of our CBI program, and that program would have benefited in so much way and ways over the years. Very, very important program. When you look at the southeastern peninsula, well, I used to hear it was a road to nowhere, but now it is a road to everywhere. And that development, the southeastern peninsula, is today contributing tremendous amount of revenue over the years to our nation. Was opened on the 24th of December in 1989 and continue to develop. And we would have seen even up to late, even the water taxi service and the many different businesses and the Park Hyatt and the many other individuals who live on that side. Oh yes. And I mean, when you look at that road, when you look at the Port Zante, which was an area where Dr. Simmons acquired some 25 acres of seawater and turned it into land. And today, that tremendous development is benefiting and has benefited the people of this country and the economy in such a big way. And that is very, 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 very important. And when you look at where we had introduced the relationship between Taiwan and St. Kitts and Nevis, and that relationship has done so much to the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis and to our people. We have to commend and congratulate someone who would have done so much and will benefit generations and generations.
Okay, before we go to the phone lines, before we go to Station Break, do you think that him being elevated to the status of national hero, is that due enough recognition?
That wasn't a very important recognition. But what I am saying, that is not the only way he should be recognized. Because when it comes to certain milestone, especially, as I said, in reference to independence. Because if it was something, let's say, for instance, maybe in sports, and there's a particular individual who would have made, just like in track and field, I am very happy and proud for the outstanding contribution by our champion, Kim Collins. I don't really think that he has even given half of the recognition that he really deserves. Yes, I am happy that some were given to him, but in terms of what he really deserves as a citizen, as an individual, based on what he would have done and his contribution, I am extremely proud that he would have done this country.
Okay, we got to pause at this note to give credit to our sponsors. As I would say, give Caesar his due, and return to keep phone lines open for those who are trying to get into the conversation. So we go downtown, and we will be right back at the other end.
Are you ready for a transformation in your living space? Look no further than Horsewood Furniture and Appliances, your ultimate destination for easy living, easy saving. Get ready to experience comfort like never before with our living room set sale event. For a limited time, we're offering an incredible 20% off on all cash purchases of living room set store-wide. Yes, you heard that right, 20% off. But wait, there's more. When you choose to go with higher purchase, not only will you get your dream living room set, but you'll also receive double cashback coupons for free groceries. It's a win-win. Upgrade your living space while earning rewards for your kitchen. So mark your calendars and head over to Horsewood's Furniture and Appliances today. Experience easy living, easy saving with 20% off on all cash purchases of living room sets store-wide. And remember, double cashback for free groceries on all higher purchase options throughout September. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity. Horsewood's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store. Your home, your style, your saving. Terms and conditions apply. See store for details.
This is a public service announcement.
Brace yourselves for the ultimate shopping extravaganza that you've been waiting for. Get ready to be blown away because double cashback coupon season has officially landed at Horsford's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store. Can you feel the excitement in the air? It's that magical time of year when Horsford's paves the way to your dreams by giving away millions in free groceries with every Flex Pay Higher purchase.
But wait, there's more to this phenomenal offer.
Hold on to your seats because this is your chance to win an entire year of free groceries through the exhilarating double cashback season, double cashback promotion. Wait, did I mention it's double cashback coupon season at Horsford's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store? Don't delay. Come in today before it's too late and snatch up your double cashback coupons for absolutely free groceries. Terms and conditions apply. See store for details.
It's 1:20 in the studio of WINNFM 98.9. A point to make, but we're going to go straight to the four lines. Caller, you're live on Voices.
Yes, the King. Carl here again.
Okay, make it short, please, if you can. We got about 10 minutes to go.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Well, I want to get back to the Haiti situation. What are you saying about that, the King? We have been helping because I listened to your speech diligently.
Mm-hmm.
We have been helping the Haitian them over the years, right? They come here legal, we help them. They come in illegally, we help them. But the King, what I'm saying is that how much we can take. We cannot overpopulate ourselves with everybody because we have people from all over the world, you know. We have Russians and all.
I got your point, Carl.
The population is growing to Russian. Everybody from all over the world we are taking.
I got your point, Carl, yeah.
And what I am saying is that we can't be taking everybody because it's going to take a toll on every sector in our very small nation and very small economy. And we don't even have space to maintain those that we have here.
Okay.
And like I've been telling everybody and every talk show host, and even the ministers, they're going to catch them on the ear, right? Jesus couldn't help everybody. He tried. He couldn't help everybody. So we can't help everybody. And the thing is, we got to look after our own first. We don't have no jobs for our own. We don't have no housing for our own. But we take in the whole world to put them where.
Your point has been made. I don't want to cut you off, but your point has been made.
In our country, that is what's going to happen to us, Very soon we're going to look around and, as I just tell the talk show host them, you're going to see an Indian prime minister, you're going to see a Chinese deputy prime minister, and then you ain't going to see nobody from St. Kitts Nevis in that government very, very soon, a few elections from now, if we don't watch what we're doing.
Okay, Carl, thank you very much. Okay. All right. Mr. Maynard, on the topic that you're on, we have a contribution from a very famous popular person whose name I won't mention without his permission, and he questions if Simmons is the father of independence, what would you call Billy Herbert, who was the engine and the master of all minds behind our independence? So the question is put to you. You know the person. Respond if you can, please.
And I know I know where the question came from.
He continues.
I know who
many cricket captains never got the man of the match. You in cricket, so we can speak to this also. We got about 6 minutes to go, so make it work.
Well, a very important question, and we know for sure that Mr. Billy Hobart, a tremendous contributor and someone who would have done very, very well in, especially in terms of his field, his profession, would have made his contribution over the years. And his contribution was a very vital and important one. Very important. So this is also a very important question.
Is there but?
Well, I mean, it's just like if you are the manager, you're the manager of a team, but the manager, the coach, and the captain are part of the management of the team itself. But when it comes to on the field, the leadership on the field is what is also very, very vital.
So is this your answer to yeah, that's the question he's asking. If Simmons is the father of independence, what would you call Billy Herbert, who was the engine and the master of all minds? All minds. Now, I generally think that he was a mastermind.
Definitely.
Behind. When he says he's the master of all minds. So, answer my question. What would you give Billy Herbert?
Tremendous amount of credit. Tremendous amount of recognition.
But there can only be one. And the one you're saying...
He comes second.
Who?
He comes second.
He comes second.
Yeah, Mr. Herbert.
All right, so...
In the race.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're advocating that Dr. Simmons in that capacity should be given the due recognition and more respect. The drone show, you would have had feedback about that. People questioning why Dr. Simmons was not invited to that drone show. Nobody know the answer.
Well, there is...
He would have been embarrassed to see that you highlight Mr. Bradshaw as the father of independence. He's in the audience and no mention, no recognition of him.
The person who brought us into independence. Playing politics. I mean, when it comes to governance, I'm very, very disappointed in many individuals and citizens over the years who would have graced the stage in terms of the political stage. Very, very disappointed, even up until today.
Well, we are very much politically polarized, and we live in a democracy where everyone has the opinion, etc., etc.
And this is why you hear... I don't get very upset when people say politics is not good. Politics is a bad thing. Politics is something that is very, very, very important. Very, very good. But if you have the people get in politics and practice politics and give the politics a bad name, it has nothing to do with the politics. It has to do with who get themselves involved in the politics. Because there are certain things that is good. It's just like if there is a messenger and there is a message, but the messenger may not be a good person, but the message is what is good, then we accept the message. We accept the message, we appreciate the message, and we support the message.
Okay. We got about 3 minutes to go, so I would like to have you, if you can, describe 41, Independence 41 for us. What would you like to change? What changes would you like to see for that ceremony?
Well, 41 years, which is just a little under 11 months from now. And we hope that we would be continue to be spared in reference to the hurricane season.
In terms of the ceremony.
In terms of the ceremony, definitely I would like to see the father of our independence be far more recognized and supported. In terms of perhaps, I don't know if it's maybe because was the 40th anniversary, they had the drone show. I don't know if it's something that will become an annual thing. We'll see down the road in a year's time if it would be something that they will have on the calendar, which was a good thing.
But should they have it, you would like to see the person designated as the father be the person who really justly deserves it.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. I mean, the only thing that is right is what is right, and nothing that is wrong. And I know some people still want to be strong, but you can't be wrong and be right. There is no two ways
we know
in
that,
one.
but just want to focus on the changes you would like to see in going forward. Sometimes
right.
we look at the mistake we make, but we correct it in going forward.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I would just like to see more maturity in our leadership, in our government, and in the future, which government? Because with whoever is in government, definitely they are there to represent the government of St. Kitts and Nevis, not any political party, right? So if your party as a supporter is in power, in office, because I don't really like this power thing. God got power, and he has the authority to make and break anything at any time on any occasion. Okay. Right? So I am looking forward, to be honest, as a country, as a nation, as a federation, and as a people, that and it is very important that every single citizen play their role, play their part. Okay. Right?
We are out of time, and we would hope between now and Independence Celebration 41, we would have made the necessary corrections to give due credit to whom it's owed. You want to make a quick thing because we actually...
Yes, I would just like to say that the next Independence Celebration, I'm looking forward for the opportunity where I can expound, but I would like to see Constant Mitchum be the next person to be elevated to national hero. I also would say that there are some issues over at the Keon High School where they have shorties in terms of guests and chairs.
You're going to have to come back.
Definitely I would like to.
Because we are out of time. Unfortunately, you couldn't get here a bit earlier, but we are really out of time. And so I want to thank you for making the effort to get here. I want to thank our viewers and listeners who was part of today's discussion. We want to apologize for those who wanted to get in, did not get in. So until Monday morning, Gospel Live, we will continue the debates. I want to wish you peace, love, and happy Friday.
Here are your hosts of Value Mart IGA specials, running September 21st through October 4th. The more you shop, the more you save. Get double points on all grocery food items and meats until the end of September. And in the month of October, double points on dairy and grocery non-food items. Now, our Value Club Blue Tag specials. Bigelow teas, $10.99. Essential Everyday Grated Parmesan Cheese, $11.99.